Hey, this is John the Eagle Eye Picker, and welcome back to part 2 of this U.S. Senator's estate sale. As we dive right back in, and I'm going to be on the lookout for more of these rocks and be picking them up as I go along. Now let's move over to the shelf. Lots of shoes on the bottom shelf, and you'll see lots of books here. Cute little trinket box there. Here's more books. There's a Yoda. That's the other Jack and Jill bathroom. I'm gonna make my way around the bed. There's a gentleman standing there. A pin cushion. Some more perfume containers. And some leftover perfume. I haven't really sold a lot of, used, not full, or perfume items. I tend to only pick perfume up if it's still in the box and not been used. But I know people can and do sell it, and some can be worth quite a bit of money. I'll look through these bags to make sure I don't miss something. A jean jacket. I found several of these jean material jackets, hoping to find Levi or Wrangler or something like that. They were all Coldwater Creek. And I'm in the closet now. There's a bunch of bags here. Just flipping through those real quick, making sure I don't miss anything. There's a shelf there with some boxes, and here, this is a fun thing I find regularly, a box of teeth. You'd be surprised how many teeth I find at vintage estate sales, particularly. Sometimes they're infant. Those look like adult teeth. But people used to say baby teeth and put them in boxes all the time. I don't know if people still do that or not. Leave me a comment if you still do that, or if you know someone who does. So in the same bedroom, I turn around to the closet that was on the immediate right. I do go through some ties. There's a lot of contents in here, so I don't think it's been gone through that well. I'll look through some of the brands. I don't see anything of particular interest. There's a mix of men's and ladies' clothes here. And here's a box full of goodies. Just a bunch of miscellaneous stuff. There's a key holder. There's a wallet in there, some pins. Pieces of chain, just a lot of random things. Some books of matches. Some match boxes, I should say. An IBM pen. I make my way back out of that room, up through the hallway. I look on this. We haven't been in this side of the hallway yet. We went in that door to the right there. I look at some of the items laying on there. There's a couple alabaster eggs in that Ziploc bag. And you might notice that those aluminum cups that were there when I made the corner before are already gone. So I'm going to make my way back downstairs. That's a beautiful entry cabinet there with the hat hangers. I thought that was great. I tried to make my way back into this main room again, well, the entry room when you first enter the house. This is where the big crash was, and there was a lot of crowding. And where the registers are, you can see lots of dolls there. And there's one sunroom here with packed full of stuff. The lady there on the left was looking at some pins. I looked at those earlier. They weren't of any value. It's a neat box full of 8 track tapes. Probably should have picked that up. I didn't. That was $5 for the box, which I think was pretty cool all by itself. Full of tapes. And here we can see more pigs. And there's a Princess Di Beanie Baby. Probably worth millions. This M&M container, it's plastic. It's in pretty rough shape as well. Quite a bit of artwork here. There's a old sign, Jesse Helms for Senate. A lot of this stuff, because it's been some time since he's been a senator and passed away, is out in the shed in the back. It was moved out. So there's more of a senator type letterhead and things out there. Took a quick look around in there. It's pretty crowded. Here's the main room, and you can see the cashiers are there and a table full of jewelry. This is the little entryway. That piece of furniture I was looking at coming down the stairs. A nice piece of suede here on the left. And then I noticed this lamp, and in retrospect, I should have probably looked it up and spent a little more time looking at that. I think it was a pretty good price. Might should have picked that up. And this is kind of a formal dining area, full of furniture. Every surface has some sort of trinket or bauble on it. Dishes, plates. Very neat. This is a very neat trunk. It's a great condition for its age. And there's just lots of statues and cups and little frames and trinkets and baubles and figurines, as you can see. A lot of Christmas ornaments over there. Now we're going into like a kitchen eating area, a breakfast room. They have a lot of dishes and serving containers, salt and pepper shakers there, set of china, things like that displayed. And here we are with a whole lot of porcelain pig figurines. My understanding is people gifted him with these all the time. He loved them and collected them. Neat little vacuum kind of trinket there. It was very heavy, like it was made out of lead or pewter or something like that. Some dishes there. Make my way to a room at the end of the hallway, downstairs, opposite where the kitchen is.
How do you get there? Through here? Yeah.
Here's a lot more Christmas items. Little village pieces, as you can see there. More books. So I take a quick scan through these. This shelf here has a lot of cards, thank you cards, cards like that. As well as some other coasters and other figurines. Some pins and some dolls. None of those are things that I pick up today. There's more kids books, I think. There's a bunch of golden books here on the left. There's another vintage item you see in older estate sales are brass baby booties, brass shoes. They used to do that regularly back in the day, I'll say. Couch just stacked full of books and other miscellaneous items. Here I notice a box of records. I'm trying to see what era they're from. And I see the Carpenters in there. So I thought maybe I'd spend just a little time looking through these. Johnny Mathis. I see that album a lot at estate sales. The RCA Victor, I find some of those older LPs. Sometimes I'm just really impressed with the artwork on some of the older covers. This one I thought was pretty cool, Aladdin. Several from musicals and soundtracks from movies as well. Some Peter, Paul, and Mary's. Some more modern things in here. A couple of trinkets in that bucket. As you can see, the little snow village, more Christmas decor. Lots of books. Here's a little table with ceramic pieces on it. And we come up to a cabinet with a lot of trinkets and little statuettes and collectibles. Some souvenir type pieces. So I think he traveled pretty well. Went to a lot of places. And then the top of this dresser is mostly more pig items and trinkets and banks. There's a geode. Those are pretty cool. And more pigs. And some other animals. There's some Easter stuff down at the bottom there. Little nativity area there. A little bit more Christmas items. This was a pretty neat suede bag. Took a look at it. I did not see a label on it. So I'll make my way to the back of the house where the kitchen is. There's a typewriter in there, because every typewriter should be in a kitchen. And there's lots of stuff in the pantry area. A lot of vases. Nothing really catches my eye in there. More pigs, more kitchen items. There's some nice pieces in here. That casserole dish is particularly nice. This is the first day of the sale. Things will go probably 50% off the next day. I think is what I heard. This is a 2-day sale. I look at some cast iron because it's in really good shape. Hoping it's Griswold, but those are actually Lodge. Very nice pieces still. Looking at a small area there that's like a mudroom style. And step out into the back. For quite a long time, by looking at the yard and the accumulation of, dust and stuff on the inside. Here's the outside garage area. Here's where I find some older tools. Nothing really spectacular sticks out to me just from a tool perspective. But here's where I start finding some of the old letterhead and envelopes for when he was a senator. I'll take a quick look through these. There's a nice vintage door latch, brass. Probably replaced over the years some time ago. Circular saw. Up there's a jigsaw. Wooden mallet to the left there. I didn't pick this up. I wish I had. That's pretty neat. And it's a mix of more modern stuff and some older stuff on these shelves. I don't think anyone's been out here in years, I would say. And a chainsaw. There's a sewing machine. There's 2 of them, actually. If you watch my videos, you'll see when I go to these older vintage estate sales, there's 1 or 2 at every one, it seems. It's just remarkable to me to think how many people sewed at home and made their own clothes. It's something we don't really think about much today. Here's some more of the letterhead from the senator stuff, just boxes of it. There's envelopes, there's stationery. And there's a picture of him and his wife, I assume. Senator Helms. Usually they come through and get the personal items out of it, or the estate sale company collects those and keeps them for the family. I'll walk my way through the back and I see more personal kind of items. This is a Bible I pick up. I look at the inside and it's one that was presented to Jesse Helms from this Bible company and another organization, and I do pick that up. Again, it's some older tools. Probably haven't been used in many, many years. Some saws there. There was a big belt sander. A table saw. Some of this bigger equipment that was older, that's vintage, was actually sold, which is great. And there's just random stuff on this table. There's some books, some other toolboxes with some other items in there. That's a newer piece of equipment there. Grinder. And more boxes of books. There's several Bibles laying around. That one actually has his name embossed on it. Stuff out here, as you can tell on the top of this Bible, and it's leather, got a little moldy. So I think a lot of the things, because they were stored out here, got ruined. And we're coming close to the end of this one. Again, this was Senator Jesse Helms. There's a hat. It was kind of interesting. I did not realize it was a former senator's home. I'm going to wrap up this part 2 of this 2-part video walkthrough of the U.S. Senator's estate sale. If this is your first time seeing part 2, make sure you check out part 1 to see what you missed. Thanks for following along with me. This is the Eagle Eye Picker, and I hope to catch you on the next one.